Adolf Hitler. In 1933, the government of Nazi Germany passed the Reich Animal Protection Act. It prohibited animal cruelty, limited vivisection, and regulated slaughter methods. Hunting regulations were introduced, requiring licenses and setting hunting seasons. Fishing methods like live bait and certain traps were restricted. In 1935, the Reich Nature Protection Act was enacted. It enabled the state to protect natural landscapes, endangered species, and designated conservation areas. The laws introduced concepts such as buffer zones, landscape conservation, and environmental planning at a national level. These environmental policies were among the first of their kind implemented on a national scale in the 20th century. Osama bin Laden, the most wanted terrorist in the world. Osama funded the construction of roads, schools, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure in Sudan and Afghanistan. Interestingly, he also had a copy of Super Mario Brothers on his computer, along with a video titled Funny Cat Video, and even a clip of himself singing Lady Gaga's Poker Face. Sounds unbelievable, right? But did you know he also had some surprising, even good habits? Despite having a lot of money, he lived a very simple life. He wore plain clothes, ate basic food, and stayed away from luxury. He was known to be very disciplined, following a strict daily routine. He didn't talk much, and usually spoke politely and calmly with people around him. Pablo Escobar. During the 1980s, Pablo Escobar, leader of the Medellin cartel, financed several public welfare projects in Colombia. Escobar funded the construction of housing projects for low-income residents. One of the most well-known is Barrio Pablo Escobar, built on land he provided in Medellin. He also financed the building of sports fields, medical centers, and community infrastructure. These projects were concentrated in underdeveloped urban areas. Escobar's network distributed food, cash, and supplies to local families, especially in areas where state presence was limited or absent. Benito Mussolini, prior to his political career, worked in the field of education. He held a position as a school teacher and, for a brief time, served as a headmaster. During his tenure as the leader of Italy, school attendance rates increased. His administration introduced educational reforms aimed at expanding access to schooling, particularly in rural and underdeveloped regions. These reforms included efforts to promote literacy and standardize the national curriculum, as part of a broader initiative to shape a more uniform and centralized education system. In addition to his political and professional background, Mussolini had musical training. He began playing the violin during his childhood and continued the practice into adulthood, reportedly achieving a level of notable proficiency. Julius Caesar, despite his role in the extensive military campaigns, achieved notable reforms, created the Julian calendar, which became the basis for our modern calendar system, and solved chronic timekeeping problems, extended Roman citizenship to people in Gaul and other provinces, promoted legal equality, and reformed debt laws to help ordinary citizens, initiated major construction projects including forums, basilicas, and infrastructure improvements that benefited Roman citizens, redistributed land to veterans and poor citizens, addressing inequality and providing opportunities for advancement, generally respected local customs and religions in conquered territories rather than forcing complete Romanization. These achievements occurred within the context of his military conquest that resulted in an estimated 1 million deaths and his undermining of Roman democratic institutions. Al Capone. During the Great Depression, gangster Al Capone opened one of the first private soup kitchens in Chicago. In 1931, Capone's soup kitchen on 9th and State Street served over 2,000 meals per day, including soup, bread, and coffee, to the unemployed and homeless. The kitchen operated daily and was funded directly by Capone's organization. It served people regardless of age, background, or employment status. Local newspapers covered the effort, noting it was one of the few reliable sources of food at the time for many Chicago residents. The soup kitchen ran until Capone's imprisonment in 1932. Its operations stopped shortly after. Pol Pot, the name that brings fear even today. But did you know some of his intentions were actually meant to improve his country? He wanted to turn Cambodia into a place where everyone was equal. No rich, no poor, just people working together side by side. Pol Pot believed that manual labor and farming were the purest forms of work. He dreamed of a country that was self-reliant, free from foreign control or Western influence. His government tried to bring education, healthcare, and production directly to the rural areas, but his methods were so extreme and violent, they destroyed everything. Maybe he thought he was building a better future, but in the end, his way of doing it led to one of history's darkest chapters. It shows us a harsh truth. Even good intentions, when carried out the wrong way, can lead to disaster. Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un, who has led North Korea since 2011, has implemented several notable policies. Economic reforms allowed private markets to operate more openly and permitted small-scale private trade, providing some economic flexibility for citizens. Infrastructure development built ski resorts, water parks, apartment complexes, and modernized Pyongyang's infrastructure, including new subway stations. Inter-Korean relations participated in joint Olympic events with South Korea in 2018 and opened communication channels between the two Koreas. Education and technology promoted science education, established new universities, and emphasized computer literacy programs. COVID-19 response implemented early strict border closures in January 2020, which North Korea claims helped prevent COVID-19 transmission, though these claims remain disputed. These policies occurred within North Korea's authoritarian system, which maintained strict political control, limited freedoms, and significant human rights concerns that affect the daily lives of North Korean citizens. Fidel Castro, who led Cuba from 1959 to 2008, implemented several notable policies and achievements during his tenure. Healthcare system. Castro established a comprehensive universal healthcare system that provided free medical care to all Cuban citizens. Cuba developed one of the world's highest doctor-to-patient ratios and achieved infant mortality rates comparable to developed nations' education. The government eliminated illiteracy through nationwide literacy campaigns, achieving a literacy rate of over 99%. Education became free at all levels, including university, making Cuba one of the most educated populations in Latin America. Medical diplomacy. Cuba became known for sending medical professionals to assist in disaster relief and healthcare missions worldwide, including efforts in Africa, Latin America, and following natural disasters.